welcome to Google I.O. I'm Alex Dobie with Android Central. Florence Zion.
That's me.
Jerry Hildenbrand.
What up?
So we just got done with one of the main keynotes of the day. So we had the VR keynote, we had the Android keynote yesterday, we had the main keynote. A lot of great announcements. We're going to focus mostly on Android O in this little video segment. And we've kind of seen that a little bit before, but we got stuck into a lot of the main features of O this time around, starting off with some changes in notifications. So notification dots, they're finally here. We got little icons that show up next to your icons, so you can see exactly what is there. You can long press on them, you get a little window that pops up. That whole UI has changed a lot in O. And just making it easier to see what exactly is going on if maybe you're, like me, your standard notification layout is a bit of a mess.
So it was like an evolution of what we saw in the Pixel launcher, where you long press and you have the extra. I mean,
But
it's going to be useful.
It's great. It's a little platform, and you can do more with it.
That's true.
And it, gives people what they want or a way to make what they want.
Hopefully they can discover it though, because it's such a new habit of getting into on the launcher as it is.
Yeah, they're definitely going to see dots, and maybe they won't know what they are or what they can do with them.
Well, I know my mother will be happy because she keeps complaining she doesn't have notification alerts. So.
And it's not just notification alerts in there, because they're actually changing that UI. You can get to widgets from there now.
Yeah.
Big part of discoverability in Android widgets. They want to, developers want users to use widgets in their apps more. So just a win-win for everyone there, and just building on that UI that we first saw back in N.
But one of the great things is they haven't really messed up the actual notifications.
No.
Because they got those kind of really good now.
Yeah.
They can get messy, but that's because, not all developers do follow the best practices, but for the most part, I think they're the best notifications of any platform.
Oh, I agree.
Desktop or mobile. So I was worried, how bad are they going to mess them up? And they didn't.
But it's different color now.
Well,
it's now light gray. People are losing their minds over that.
I'm a fan of light gray. I mean, so.
Gray is nice. It's neutral.
So what else? We had picture-in-picture mode itself isn't new. It's been Android TV for a while. It was demoed for the first time here at I.O. Works very much like if you've used it on an iPad. You can bounce it around, you can drag it around the screen.
If you install the O beta, I found the easiest trick, a whole lot easier than entering any code. Go to Google Play, find YouTube, uninstall YouTube, and it gives you the default that you installed with the O beta, and you get multi or picture-in-picture.
Ooh, that's awesome! Because that's
it's that easy. So
yeah, and that's what you want to do, like on the long screen on the GS8. I like to have a little window.
You want to try it. If you install the O beta, you definitely need to try that.
It's going to be really useful for people with tablets too. Even though we didn't hear a lot of tablet stuff at the keynote, which, I mean,
there is something going on at Google with tablets. We just need to wait. I hope it's the biggest surprise with Androids jumping out of cakes and whatnot, but I don't know what's going on, but there's got to be something. They didn't just throw that category away.
No, they're not throwing it away. And I told you guys yesterday that they were using Nexus 7s for us to sign up for our free photo books.
That's so sad.
Tablet
so
ever.
sad.
It is the best tablet ever.
Which
you
is
can
even
actually
more
type
sad.
2 thumbs. It is. Please, while we're here, another 7-inch tablet. That would be nice.
So we don't know anything about that just yet, but we do know there are a lot of these features on the phone side that will work really, really well on a tablet. So we'll just have to see what happens later in the. Google is due a new tablet. It's been 2 years since the Pixel C. We'll just have to see what they do there.
I'm excited. Android apps on a Chromebook with picture-in-picture.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's where we're heading, and
I have to mention, just because it is possibly the most important development we had this week, new emojis in Android.
I appreciate that, actually, because I would like to be able to switch.
the way they're doing it,
Yeah,
it's awesome. You can download them, Flo. You don't have to wait for Samsung or LG or Google or whoever to send you an OTA. You just download them from a server.
Yeah, and it's supported back to older versions of Android as well. That was a big thing. Like, emojis would come with a new version of Android, and if you were like a year behind, you wouldn't get, like you wouldn't be able to send taco emojis.
Or a middle finger.
And I can certainly see that this server, maybe you like the iPhone emojis, the way they look better than the Android. You'd be able to download those.
It's true.
Or TouchWiz, you're not going to get Google Blobs anymore. They're a bit less blobbish now, a little bit more of a smiley face kind of thing going on.
I like the Google Blobs,
I want an alligator holding a taco.
I miss the Blobs.
Well, Jerry, now you can have that, probably going all the way back to Lollipop.
Yes, I will hack one in and I'll get out my old phones. And
So speaking
everything.
of devices, I mean, is this a good segue into kind of like some of the VR stuff? Like, for instance, the announcement that the Galaxy S8
Galaxy S8
is gonna get on
getting
Daydream.
Daydream VR support, huge deal there.
Yes.
The next LG phone,
LG
probably
phone.
the V30, we imagine, will be getting Daydream.
You said
big
sometime
deal.
this
V30
fall.
drink.
So we don't know it'll be the V30, but yeah, it's huge to get those two on board because especially in the US, the market is just dominated by LG and Samsung. And on the other side, on the non-phone side in VR, we had the announcement of standalone Daydream headsets.
Yes.
Huge deal there.
Inside-out tracking, correct?
Yeah. Much improved tracking based on cameras on the outside of the thing. They're working with Qualcomm to build a reference platform for it, and we're also going to have HTC and Lenovo getting in there with consumer hardware.
And their AI platform ties into that.
Yeah.
So the outside tracking, the indoor outside tracking, it can remember what it sees, and it's only going to get better and better.
It's insane. That's like the same technology that NASA is using, for instance, like with Tango, is being used now for our entertainment purposes.
Which is a much better use.
Absolutely.
So on the VR side, we just came out of the VR keynote. A couple interesting announcements there. We have Chrome in VR now, which is huge. Jerry, why is that huge?
Because that's Pornhub on your Daydream headset.
It's true. Nobody has to know you have it installed.
I know people have been wanting a way to do that. Well, now you have a way to do that. You can go to GitHub and download it. We'll round up the links for you, and you can install. It's just an app.
Can you use it in incognito mode?
I am going to assume you can.
Okay.
If not, you just make a fake account. Use your brother's name.
So what else? We had a lot of interesting gaming stuff going on in that VR keynote. Surat was really interesting to me. That's the system where it's very technical and kind of like way above my head, but it basically lets you run PC quality VR on a headset.
High fidelity graphics.
You define
mobile,
you define a volume that you can move around in, and it optimizes it so you can have like a Star Wars level CGI in something that's strapped to your head.
All the developer tools are Google is serious. Google is not playing games with Daydream. It's what you see is what you get. Daydream programming now. It refreshes on the screen while you're programming. That's, if you've done any, you know how amazing that is. It's just Google is serious.
Especially at the high end, you have AI, you have Daydream, but at the low end, that was also hugely important as well for developing markets. We had Android Go announced this week.
Yes.
So a new version of Android that is going to be based on O and up, designed for devices with as little as half a gig of RAM. That is going to work on helping you consume data, helping you control the rate which you consume data, and also highlight apps that are much better for entry-level devices.
It's great stuff. That's what a lot of people need. Something affordable that can get them on the web, keep them in touch with their family and friends.
Yeah.
Watch YouTube without using up all your precious data, which is like currency in other countries.
Right. YouTube, Facebook, they're going to be all in on this.
Oh, absolutely, because they want people to use their services.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Evernote, this is going to get, there's some traction here.
So we're not going to see this until 2018, so it's going to be kind of way out in the future, but they are committing going forward, this isn't just going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
Every new version of Android from onwards is going to be doing this.
Right. So I'm really excited about the photo stuff that was announced because, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of a small thing. Like now we're using machine learning to remind us to share our photos with the people that are in our photos. But that little thing, it's just Google's little way of saying, tell everybody about the service that we're offering. Tell everybody that we can make their photo sharing, photo storing lives, simpler, better.
Yeah, and you can have automatic sharing as well. So if I take a picture of a dog, I can automatically share it with Daniel Bader, who loves dogs.
Yeah, he's going to really appreciate
that. We also had, what else? Let's think. Photo books. So taking Google Photos from existing just digitally to having something that you can print out. And actually,
It is, especially because if you want to get, I want to say older generations who maybe aren't on board with having everything digital, give them incentive.
We've got a new baby in the family.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a nice little photo.
Lovely little present, too.
15 years from now, here.
It's true.
This is you when you were a newborn.
It's very true.
And that's hard to do digitally. I can hand somebody an SD card and say, here.
Not the same.
But a photo book is, it's just better.
It's not the same.
So what else? We had Google Photos, and obviously that is AI, ties into AI. Kind of an offshoot feature of that is Google Lens. Was announced today as part of Assistant.
Yeah, which in Photos you'll be able to use, by the way, to edit it if you need to.
Yeah, to edit it.
Google Lens is going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Sleeper hit maybe of I/O.
Yeah, I think it was probably one of the top 3 things that was announced here at I/O. I mean, if you look at Assistant has been a slow burner for sure.
Yes.
But if you just compare it to what Samsung is doing with Bixby, and as much as that was hype, this is like that feature done right, I think.
Well, yeah, it's Google behind it. And no offense to Samsung, but Google, you know them as a search company. You know what they do with machine learning and AI. You know that this is something that they put a lot of research and development into. And so instinctually, I am more willing to hand over my trust to that just because I already have experience with it.
And they gave us Assistant a year ago.
Precisely.
And it wasn't very functional, but we were willing to play with it, millions and millions of us. This is machine learning. When you have millions of people using a service, it gets really good really fast. And we saw the fruits of that today.
And also the Google Homes that are being passed out here to developers. The idea being like Assistant is what we're putting our money into, like code for it.
Yes, if you're a fan of Android and Google services and you don't have a Google Home, that needs to be your next purchase.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
and that's growing on the visual side as well, to be able to control your TV over Chromecast, to be able to send, if you want a map or something, pops up on your TV. So yeah, it's growing a whole lot, and I think we're going to see it continue to grow, especially with Lens in the next year.
Phone calls on Google Home?
Yeah.
We kind of thought that was coming when Amazon released it a week before I/O.
Yeah.
It's needed. It's a small little thing that's needed because then it gets those people who maybe aren't, super technologically inclined to get this little speaker that they can just literally speak to.
It's not what I wanted to hear about Project Fi, but it fits in very nicely because that's my phone number.
That's true.
So I can make phone calls from the couch, even though I could before. I still like it.
And you can scan things in your home on Google Lens and buy more often.
From the couch.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could scan the couch.
So, you could buy another couch, yeah. So let's go around top favorite features, either of Android or anything Google did here at the show. Flo, what's your top pick?
This morning I got excited about VR in Chrome. So VR and AR in Chrome, because I don't have any room on my Pixel for these things. So I appreciate being able to just load it when I want to get into it. Oh, and guys, we forgot to mention that now you'll be able to do, or soon you'll be able to do content sharing of your virtual reality experience.
I know Russell really wanted that.
Me too, because I want my friends to interact with me. I don't want them to just stare at me going, this is amazing,
Well, it depends if you're at Pornhub.
That's fair.
It's an experience maybe you don't want to share. For me, I mean, I'm kind of biased because I've just come out of the VR keynote, a lot of interesting stuff in there, but I think Surat is really interesting.
Yeah.
Just that's always the barrier with anything that's strapped to your head that's mobile, like its power consumption, it's the computational side of it, just the ability to have that level of graphical power in something, handled in a smart way in something that you wear, I think could be huge, and we're just seeing the start of this.
It's going to have bigger ramifications down the line, I think.
Yeah, and between the optimization happening in Surat and between just chips becoming more powerful in general, that's I think going to be very interesting to see over the next few years. Jerry, how about you?
Kotlin.
Yeah,
Kotlin, right?
Kotlin.
And because
Jerry,
you were here, the developers stood up and cheered.
Yeah, they did.
Why did they cheer, Jerry? What is Kotlin?
Kotlin is an existing programming language that's better and easier than what they have to use now to write Android apps. And now it's fully supported in Android Studio. You just install it and code. No weird conversions or anything. And if you could hear the developers cheer, because writing apps for Android can be a chore with the old, with Java, let's just say it. It can be a chore. That makes it better. Better for developers means the apps get better, and that means they just continue to get better. And I want to see every app in the Play Store as polished as the Gmail app.
Is Kotlin going to make it easier for maybe newcomers to the programming world?
A little. Kotlin is not difficult to learn. You can read. When you write the code, you can read it and tell what it's doing.
Okay.
And that helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. Like HTML.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's long overdue.
Yeah.
We needed a big change, and in the way we can build these apps, and now we have it.
So I think we're just sort of scratching the surface here in this like 15 minutes of just all the major things that we've seen in O and we've seen at I/O this week. But we have much more on the site on AndroidCentral.com. Go there. It's a pretty good place, I think.
I think so.
We're going to have more from the show, a few more videos coming up, so stay tuned for those. Until now, from I/O, from behind a giant Android statue in Mountain View, thanks for watching. See you next time.